Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's head-to-head comparison, let's take a look at the 2026 Nissan Sentra against the Kia K4. Now for the Nissan Sentra, this is an all-new model from Nissan. So debuting for 2026, we have a lot of nice updates and tech features for this model. You can also take a look at the full detailed reviews that I've made on both of these specific models if you want some more driving impressions. With the Kia K4, this is the latest model from Kia, so both of these sedans have some really nice tech features. You can buy these for under $30,000, just depending on the trim level that you go with. So let's get into today's head-to-head comparison and see which model reigns superior. Now let's move on to what this is powered by, which is the 2-liter 4-cylinder. It's paired to the Xtronic CVT, and it pumps out 149 horsepower, 146 pound-feet of torque. It is front-wheel drive, weighs in at just over 3,100 pounds. Its estimated 0 to 60 time is just shy of 9 seconds. It has a top speed of 120 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 12.4 gallons. You'll expect to see 29 miles per gallon in the city and 38 out on the highway. Now this also has a wheelbase of 106.5 inches. Its overall length is 183.3. It has a width of 71.5, a height of 57.1, and its ground clearance measures in at 4.8 inches. This is powered by a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder paired to the IVT transmission, or intelligent variable transmission, and it pumps out 147 horsepower, 132 pound-feet of torque. That power sent to the front wheels, propelling this 3,100-pound sedan from 0 to 60 in 8.5 seconds. It also has a fuel capacity of 12.4 gallons. You'll expect to see 29 miles per gallon in the city and 39 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 107.1 inches. Its overall length is 185.4. It has a width of 72.8, a height of 55.9, and its ground clearance measures in at 5.3 inches. Now as we move to the exterior styling for this SR, you'll notice the V-Motion grille has the blacked out center. Just to give it more of that sporty design, you'll notice that distinctive line for the edge of it, which also loops around to the LEDs for all of the lighting, where there's that triple beam design along with it wrapping around the bodywork in the lower section. Now this also gets the forward-facing camera in the lower section of the Nissan badge, and there's the sensor for distance pacing in the lower section of the grille, where there's also some more cutouts to provide cooling when needed, and some lines coming down the hood to finish it off. Now working our way to the exterior styling, you'll notice the brushed Kia badge at the top there. There's also a brushed accent running just underneath that from headlight to headlight, where this has a dark housing for all of the lighting, which is LED of course. In the lower section, you'll see gloss black along with more of the brushed accents, even a sensor for the distance pacing, and then lots of cutouts both in the upper and lower section to provide cooling to all of the components. There's also 2 lines coming down the hood to give it a great look. Now for the SR model, this gets a unique set for the 18-inch wheels with that 2-toned design. And you'll notice more of the gloss black treatment for the side skirts. It's also on the mirror caps, where there's a camera and a turn signal. There's a moonroof up top, and this particular model also has the optional 2-tone paint scheme. So you'll notice the super black for the roof, along with that brushed chrome trim accent for the window trim up top, just to give it a nice design. Now this model also has a unique set of wheels with the 2-tone and multi-spoke design to them. You'll notice the gloss black works its way from the bumper to the fender flares and the lower side skirt. It's also on the side mirrors, which have more brushed accents and a turn signal. This does have a sunroof up top. There's some more brushed accents on the window trim too, and then very subtle lines that flow down the side. And then working our way to the back, more of the gloss black treatment for the spoiler. It's on the bumper, which is very distinctively different compared to the rest of the lineup. You have the diffusers there in the middle, and then that sporty exhaust on the driver's side. Now this also has remote start, so you can use the key fob to do that. You can also use the key fob or the release underneath to gain access to the cargo space. Now for this latest model, it's about 50 millimeters wider for the trunk opening, and it's a little bit lower too. So that way it makes it easier to load in items where you can fit a 55-inch TV in the back with the back seats down. In order to do that, you have the pull tabs that you can use, and then you get a little bit of storage under the floor where you can place some items as needed. But even with the back seats up, you have an ample amount of cargo space for this smaller sedan. Leading our way to the back, where there's that Kia badge in the middle, along with the backup camera, there's LEDs with that bar that runs right through the trunk, and then you have more gloss black in the lower section and a reverse light too. Now you can also use the key fob to open up the trunk, and you can use this to remote start it. So you do have that button as well. And there's also the button to the right of the backup camera to release that trunk as needed. Now for this size, it actually has a pretty good amount of space. As you can tell with the back seats down, that gives you a lot more interior space. There's also some storage and a spare tire underneath the floor. In order to release the back seats, you just pull on those tabs on each side, and then you have one grab handle so you can easily close that trunk. And then as we work our way to the interior, this model has a pretty simple door panel, but you have some soft touch materials. There's Bose audio, you have a cup holder storage in the lower section, and then a neat design with the stitching and the insert for these Softex leather seats. And then at 5'10", there's actually a good bit of space in the back. Now you only have an auxiliary there in the middle, there's no storage pockets, and at my height, I'm just barely touching the headliner, but I could ride around town, have two people in here with me. And then there's also the armrest, and you have two cup holders there. And then a pretty thin pillar in the back. Now working our way to the back seats, you'll notice there's no traditional door handle in the bodywork. That's because it's up here in that trim accent, so it blends in a little bit nicer. And then for the door panel, you have a little bit of storage along with your window and your door release. And then it's very easy to lock both of these seats up, where this model has two-tone for the leather seats, which is a really nice look. Now at 5'10", I'd say I have a good bit of space. You have one storage pocket, you have auxiliaries and some storage in the middle. And then at my height, I have less than a ½ inch of headroom. Now I could ride around town, be comfortable sitting upright in the back. So it is doable for adults to be in. You also have the armrest with two cup holders there and some small windows near the headrests just to give you better visibility. Now up front, you'll notice the window controls, side mirror adjustments. You have more storage down below, and then you only have the power operating driver's seat. So the front passenger is manually adjusting. And then it's a low sedan, so it makes it easy to enter, where let's start this up. There's the new design for the steering wheel, which has the leather trim, no spoke in the lower section, and you have that flat design there. Now on the left, there's all the cruise control settings. This also has the Pro Pilot Assist, and there's volume. On the right side, you have tuning, voice commands, and Bluetooth. And then with the first 12.3-inch screen, you can get into a shortcut menu, so you can control what you'd like to see here, where we can go into the meter change. So you have a few different ways that you can adjust this screen depending on how you want to view it. Now for the rest of this information, you can go to your home screen, and then you have some vitals here that you can scroll through as needed. And then you have a lot of different settings that you can get into as well. So you can monitor all of these and customize everything to your liking. Makes it very easy to configure. Now there's a trunk release, heated steering wheel, lane keeping assist, one air vent. Now up front, this has all the window controls, side mirror adjustments. It's even equipped with Harman Kardon for the audio. You get a lot more storage down below. This also comes with heated and ventilated seats, and you get memory seating adjustments. And then all the seated controls are down on the side. You get GT line in the back of that seat too. And then in the footwell, you have your fuel cap and your trunk release. And now as we start this up, really cool design for the steering wheel with almost a flat top and bottom look to it. You do get paddle shifters as well. And then on the right side, you have mode and tuning, volume, even a favorites button. So you can use that, and you have those controls. And then all of the cruise control settings are on this left side, along with being able to go through the digital gauge cluster. So you do have some settings that you can scroll through here. Not a whole lot, but some of these vitals here that you can go into. And when you change to the driving mode from normal to sport, it will change the gauge cluster slightly too, just to give it more of that sporty vibe. Now on the left, there's traction control with the e-brake. You have dimmer switches and the hood release. There's also one air vent. And then with the secondary 12.3-inch screen, this is the home setting. So you have all of these icons here that you can add and configure as needed. You have shortcuts into the music, your phone when that is paired. And then the last one will get you into your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. There's interior lighting where you have about 64 different colors to choose from. And as you can see, there's also My Q Garage. So this will notify you if your garage door is open or closed. So when you leave the house, you will be able to double check on that, which is nice. And then you have shortcuts in the lower section to further get through your climates. So fan speed, temperature, heated seats, heated steering wheel, and a few other controls. Now there's also physical buttons down below for your seats, your temperature, your fan speed, and then there's some defrosters as well. Now right in the middle, there's volume, hazards, and tuning, and then you have a shortcut to the camera system. So when the vehicle is in park, you have your forward-facing angle along with a few different settings on that right side. If I put it into reverse, of course, we have the backup camera, and you get similar angles so that way you can see. Now, if you happen to be in drive and the forward-facing camera is not appearing, you just push on camera and it will pop up. Now, there's also ambient lighting, like I mentioned earlier, so you have that one strip there. There's auxiliaries, wireless charging, you have cup holders. There's also a B mode. This is for engine braking. And then auto hold, the e-brake, engine start stop. And you do have a few different driving modes, depending on the throttle response you would like, your steering input as well, which is nice to see. And then there's plenty of room in the center armrest. You have plenty of room in the glove box, more lighting, the rear view camera there, a sunglass holder, you have dome lights and controls for the sunroof. And then here's a look at visibility, where it's pretty easy to see over both shoulders. And then with the infotainment system, you have a lot more to go through. So you do have some physical buttons that you can use down below, and then it is a touchscreen system as well. So you can swipe through all this information and quickly go through it. You'll notice too, this whole left side is fixed. So you have the fan speed along with all of those controls, and you still have physical controls down below. So you can monitor the temperature and the fan speed from there. It is an interesting design because the steering wheel blocks pretty much that entire part of the screen. So you do have to move your head in order to see those adjustments. Now you have volume right in the middle, air vents underneath that, and then there's wireless charging with a lot more auxiliaries down below. When you put this into reverse, you get that backup camera, and then you have drive, and you can shift using the shifter or those paddles. There's also auto hold, you have a shortcut to the camera system, and then you actually have two cup holders. So if you need more space, you can hide them away, or you can pop them out in order to place drinks in there. I think that's a really nice integration to see. You get a little bit of storage in the armrest, and then plenty of storage in the glove box. Up top, you just have the rear view mirror and then the dome lights and controls for the sunshade and sunroof, as those are both power operating. And then here's a look at visibility. It's pretty easy to see over both shoulders. You have quite a lot of glass for this smaller car. So we're still in sport mode. Here we go. And this is going uphill where we don't have too much of a range here, but as we take this uphill, we can test its power, because this is a pretty steep incline. Now with the SL that I was able to drive, I was on a little bit different of a back road. So take a look at that separate full review if you want to see kind of some more country style roads versus this slower, twisty road here, where we have a beautiful view from it as well. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the latest Nissan Sentra. Honestly, a really nice interior. For 30 grand in today's market, where the average price is just over $50K for a brand new car. We do have some plastics. You have Sentra stamped in one of those accents, but for the rest of it, I mean, it's a really nice interior. It's hard to argue for the price with the quality of the interior. There's no rattles, there's no squeaks. It's pretty refined feeling and something that you could drive every day. And as far as visibility goes there, very easy to see all around. So it's not a big vehicle, but it gives you the space that you need where you can use this every day and not really worry necessarily about how tight it is. It's just, it is a small sedan, so just know that going into it. But you could have 4 people in here and use it every day. So definitely a great place to be, and really neat to be able to take a look at this latest generation. So it's pretty much the same. We just have some updates for the interior and the exterior styling, and 4 different trim levels, all under $30,000. So you have different options depending on what you would like to spend. And we'll do one more acceleration from second gear. And we are up to speed. So this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for this Kia K4. I will say it does handle very well too. For this front wheel drive non-performance sedan, it seems to take corners very well at just normal speeds. It's not a sporty sedan by any means, even though it has a nice look to it, but this can handle turns very well. So I am impressed with its drive and its ride overall, in terms of just being a great vehicle that you can take through some twisty roads, and it will handle and feel pretty solid for that type of driving. Sounds pretty okay too. It's not a loud vehicle by any means, so this is something that, again, meant for daily driving, just being a comfortable vehicle for the price too. It's definitely a great option to go with. And you have a good bit of space for it as well. Seats are very comfortable too. I really don't have any complaints with this model aside from personally wanting to go up to the turbo. This is a very nice vehicle for the price. In a world where a lot of vehicles are twice the price of this, and even going up from there, I know kind of more like base model entry-level vehicles are getting more expensive in general. So at least in today's market, for 30 grand, this is a really good option to go with. That's going to give you everything. The one thing this does not have is a 360 camera system, so you don't have the cameras in the gauge cluster. Pretty much all of the Kia and Hyundai models have that, so we are missing that. I'm not sure if that's an option or not, but that is, aside from that, everything else is what you would want from a vehicle of this price. And coming back to our final thoughts now between the Nissan Sentra and the Kia K4. Both of these are really nice models, as you saw in this video here. Personally, I do think that the Kia has a little bit more of a luxury edge versus the Nissan. Both of them are still that economy style vehicle for sub 30 grand. You can break 30 grand, again, just depending on options that you go with. But both of these have really nice features. I do wish that they had a little bit more power, but you can also opt for the Kia K4 GT, which does give you a turbo engine with more power. There's no options like that for the Nissan, so if you are looking for a bit more power, you do have an option to go with the Kia in that aspect. But regarding both of the models today, I think they're very nice. Personally, I think I would go with the Kia on this one. I just think it has a little bit nicer of an interior, more of that luxury vibe like I mentioned earlier. Although driving the Nissan for a full day at the event that I was at for about 8 hours, it was a nice vehicle overall. Really good MPG, very comfortable too. Not a lot of road noise or wind noise. Same goes for the Kia as well. We had one for a week, so we were able to daily drive that. So you really can't go wrong with either one. It just depends on the styling, the interior design that you like, and then which brand, of course, you are going to be more comfortable with. So comment down below, let me know, would you rather go Nissan or would you rather go Kia for this head-to-head comparison? Let me know your thoughts. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.